What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be showcasing a build that a viewer actually sent to me on Discord, which was his take on counter fairies. It's a pretty interesting list because it kind of embraces something I was talking about in yesterday's video, which was decks in Edison format starting to tech in like the Jar of Greed stuff, kind of like in GOAT format. This deck definitely ramps that up to the maximum with double Jar of Greed, triple Legacy of Yada, triple Reckless Greed, as well as 3 upstarts as the only spell cards in the whole deck. So I guess the idea is you just dig for your combo pieces as quickly as possible, try to get that established and win from there, which is kind of the counter fairy game plan. You know, you got to get your counter traps with your Artemis, your counter traps with your Vandalgan, otherwise you're just doing nothing. So counter fairy, very tricky build to try and make work in Edison format. A lot of inherent kind of weaknesses that you have to figure out how to deal with and mitigate and play around. As a player who is terrible at RPS, it might be tricky because we're going to be going second a lot with a deck that really wants to go first. So that can definitely be a problem, but you play some like good stuff traps just to deal with threats as well. Triple Road is something I really like a lot. I think Road's a great card in this format. I think people don't expect it. People just get sacked by it all the time, so it's definitely something to consider. The side and the extra are basically my contributions. His side and extra, I mean, it wasn't that important. There's just like a bunch of random cards in the side, and the extra is just good stuff. You know, play triple Stardust for the roads, so pretty standard stuff going on over there. Anyway, let's just look at how we were able to do in the replays that I have farmed with this deck. First one, up against, I think this was, I'm trying to remember, okay, what deck was this? Oh, this was the Plant Dragon deck. I remember game 1, I didn't have a clue what I was up against. So we go second, which is already bad. Then we draw this hand with like Artemis plus Vandalgan and no counter traps and no draw cards, which is painful. So we summon the T-King, just set it all. Unfortunately, we're just going to get obliterated by a Titanial with like a bunch of fodder this game. So not a whole lot we can do going second into this setup. Our traps just don't do anything. Our Artemis gets judgmented hilariously. Which is honestly kind of fine for us. I think they maybe should have held that because, like, there's only one more Dandy in their deck, so losing a Lone Fire here wouldn't have really mattered. But we just try to dig and cannot find anything, so we die next turn. We die. There's nothing we could do this game. Kind of, counter fairies just can't do anything in that situation. They're not a great deck at playing from behind, let alone, like, going second and playing from way behind with a hand like that, so... This game, though, we have the Dust Shoot and the just crazy sacky hand. I guess it could have been better. Could have had Artemis or something, but... Yeah, we're in a pretty good spot here. Just drawing cards. We can set the Honest to wall, which I think we're going to do. Figuring he's probably not going to tribute summon the Cyber Dragon. We negate the Dust Tornado and use the Vandalgan. Vandalgan's a really good card. It makes me want to play like more 7 tools or something in here. And then the Road is just going to end the game for us there. Road, obviously crazy. Vandalgan's probably one of the best cards in this. Maybe we should play 3 Vandalgan. I guess 3 could be bricky. Here, I don't want to set everything, so I just set 2, but it kind of backfires because my best trap card gets Dust Tornadoed, so... Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not good to play greedy. Like, there's a lot of people in this format who just disrespect Heavy Storm for some reason. And I'm not that sort of player. Maybe in counter fairies you kind of have to because you're playing like an all-in kind of strategy where it's just like you set your hand or you lose. Here I'm actually not in a bad spot. But, okay, I think I played this wrong. Because, I didn't think they had the Solemn Judgment here because I thought these extra back row were just fake and bluffs. But maybe I could have tried to go like Deep Prison Divine Wrath and then they would Judgment my Divine Wrath. Then my guy would die, but I could like mirror the next attack unless they just chose not to. But then there would still be the Call of the Haunted for a big guy, which I couldn't deal with the cards that I have here. So I don't know, because it's like I Jar of Greed next turn anyway, and I don't find anything in my top 2 that really deals with the board presence. But it might have bought me a little more time in terms of just saving me from damage threat. It definitely would have been the better play. But I don't know if it would have been able to win me the game here. So yeah, that was just a tough spot. Showing off kind of part of the weaknesses of the deck. We have another match here though, so let's see if we can redeem ourselves. see if we can redeem ourselves. We're playing against another Flamvell deck, which is a little odd. I ran into one of these yesterday, seeing them a bit more often. Kind of strange. Maybe a potential metagame shift? I don't know. Could be anything. So they hit with the rat. I just take the damage without even hesitating because I don't want to telegraph the mirror force. Here, I did not need to mirror here, but I chose to for some odd reason, and they just booked to protect their rat, so I feel kind of stupid. We go Artemis, and then this is insane Vandalion play. We get the free draw, we get the Vandalion. I probably should have done the attack order the other way. I figure I have like Honest, but I think still playing around Gores with the Artemis would have been better. I mean, they'd have gotten like the big Gores token either way, because I'm definitely just going to attack with both here. But the way I did it was probably wrong. We resolved the drastic drop-off, which is nice. We get a free plus there. They crashed the token. They probably should have just hit in with the Gores over the Artemis. Or, yeah, force the Honest and then crash. Yeah, it's hard for them because they're going to lose both either way. So, difficult situation. We have just like 5 back row with Artemis backed up by Honest. It's really hard for them to even vaguely play here. We have the road to stop the BRD. So, I think they just scoop it up at this point with after we bribe the rekindling. Drawing the Artemis is just so crazy in this deck if you can like resolve a couple just free +1 draws off of it. So here we're going to get, speaking of which, we open the Artemis with a decent hand. So we use the drop-off to get the immediate +1. Opponent summons Fire Dog. We fortunately have the D person to stop this. So we're in the clear. We set 2. Opponent accidentally reveals they have Dandelion. Here I made a huge mistake. I should have just dropped the Vandalkian here, but I didn't remember to. So yeah, I could have popped the one that I knew wasn't Dandelion from the knowledge that I shouldn't have had, but I guess that would have played into mirror maybe. Definitely should have just Vandalion there though, because like all I have is bribe or something, and the spell negation effect is so garbage on Vandalion. You really want one of the other ones. We have the Artemis hidden. Just goes rat into rat. We set the second bribe. Go upstart. I think here he Dust Tornadoes, which allows me to Vandalion get rid of this giant rat. He tries to roll Oppression my Vandalion, and I bribe that too, and then get more draws with the Artemis, so very good situation for me. He just goes set Dandy Pass. You know, honestly, I think he could have Black Rosed. I mean, no, he doesn't have a Flamvell yet. I guess he drew that later. Maybe my brain's getting confused here. So we're just beating over everything, but he draws a Spy, which is really nice. Helps wall up here. We're only going to be able to deal with one of these this turn with the Vandalion. Draws a Rat, which isn't bad. We're going to start recklessing. We draw into more Reckless, which is nice. We also draw into Drop-Off, which is another way to draw a card. Unfortunately, we drop off a Flamvell monster, so you can just rekindling that back. Here he books my Artemis. Not sure he should have done that. It only like mitigated a little bit of damage, I think. So, Here he goes for the Black Rose play, but of course we just negate it with Thunder King Ryo, and that's going to be the end of that match. So, much stronger showing there for counter fairies. I think in both matches I got to at least do something, which felt nice. Got to at least show off some of the potential of the deck. It's definitely an interesting build with all of the draw cards. I think there is maybe some legitimacy to this like approach of playing a back row deck, of just like shoving in all these Jar of Greeds and Reckless and Legacy of Yada and whatnot. I think it's an interesting take. So hope you guys all enjoyed the gameplay, enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the alert bell, share the video, do everything you need to do. We are closing in. We are in the home stretch, getting me to 1K subscribers so I can make some money on this platform. That will be nice, I gotta say. So thank you to everyone who has watched and who has supported the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.